Good morning, everyone. Guys, I'm just going to call it now. Poland are going to enter the war in Ukraine. Now, this is my speculation, my opinion, and my analysis. If you've not done so already, guys, please give us a like and a follow and a subscribe, and please throw your comments my way because I love answering them. So for those of you who've been following this channel, you'll know back way back in like February, I identified an article in the newspaper. It was out of context. It was out of left field, basically. It was a report from a Polish pilot that spoke to the press. I think it was Politico. And they said, listen, Polish pilots, we have to scramble when missiles are coming, towards the west of Ukraine. We can see the missiles on our radar in our cockpit. If we were just allowed to press that button, we could intercept these missiles before they rain down on civilian infrastructure, and we could save a lot of lives. And while all that is true, guys, I said very early on, I said, right, this is the seedling right here in the weeds of Poland flying over Ukraine and closing, and protecting the Ukrainian airspace. Now, more news has come out in the last 24 hours. I'll just read you the headlines, guys. In fact, which one will I do first? I'll do this one first. So Poland's unveiled, when was this? Hang on. 28th of August. Poland has officially unveiled its first F-35A Hussar aircraft in a ceremony held in Fort Worth, Texas. The name Hussar, meaning Hussar, draws inspiration from Poland's historic cavalry unit that were active from the 16th century to the 18th century. Guys, so Poland now, they're saying they've got the F-35s, they're going to be in service. And what better way to test the F-35 Alpha than to fly over Ukraine and close the airspace down? Now, what this is going to lead on to, okay, guys, quickly as well, I'll share this one with you, actually. Where are we? Bear with me, guys. It's early in the morning and I am not fully caffeinated. I think it's this one, guys. Yeah, it is. No, it's not that one. Sorry, guys. My mistake. My bad. That's the one. That's the next one. Yeah, so, guys, I'm not fully caffeinated. I do drink an ungodly amount of coffee in the morning. Borderline addiction stuff. Here we are, guys. So Ukraine planning to hold seized Russian territory indefinitely as Moscow bombs Lviv. So Lviv is the western city. It's the western capital of Ukraine, leaving residential buildings burning. Moscow's attack on Lviv was so close to Poland that the country activated aircraft to protect their own security, according to Polish armed forces. So the article goes on and talks about talks about in detail. But guys, I know you guys want me to cut to the point and get you guys the facts quick so you can go about your day. So what's going to happen with this, and I've said this for, I've been saying this for such a long time. For those of you who've not heard me say this, guys, we're going to have a situation where the Ukrainian F-16s are unable to fly from Ukraine. Now, whether that's because of pilot error, training, capacity, whether the Russians have taken out all the airfields, for whatever reason, they're not going to be able to fly in Poland. Sorry, they're not going to be able to fly in Ukraine. So what's going to happen? The F-16s, the F-16s, sorry, I'm thinking about F-35s. All these Fs, guys, it's weird. So the aircraft are then going to have to be flown from Poland or Romania. My money is on Poland because of all the rhetoric that's coming out of Poland with the interceptor aircraft, the constant articles about, if we could just fly over. In fact, let me get the map up, guys, and I'll give you a little explanation. Sorry, guys, I wasn't going to get the map up. So, yeah, so the Ukrainians will then have to fly from Poland, but they can't do that until the Polish. So here you've got Ukraine, guys, and you've got the Polish border here, Lviv, where these missiles attacked. So what's happening? This border here, you're going to have Polish F-16s set with some agreement from Ukraine. Remember, this was a bilateral agreement between Zelensky and what's his name, Tusk, like a couple of months ago. they talked about it, guys. Like they openly talked about it and said, you know, we're discussing this. And it's not the things that, when you're looking at these articles in the news, it's never the first things, the big headlines that are the most important. If you scroll down and talked about and look what they discussed or they thought about talking about, they're the things that are the really important things. Anyway, so here's the Poland-Ukraine border all the way down here. What I think is going to happen is the Polish are going to say, look, you know, we're going to close your airspace down, and then you'll have Polish F-16s flying off and doing defensive sorties around here. Now, at the same time, you're also going to have Ukrainian F-16s. Again, this is my speculation, my opinion, my analysis. You're going to have Ukrainian F-16s flying from the same airfields doing offensive sorties. And as long as, you know, the Ukrainians don't fly into, well, that's Belarus, into enemy territory, even if they're shot down, you're never going to know what aircraft it is. You're never going to know who the pilot is. You know, you're never going to know what the intent of that aircraft is. But as soon as we get the Polish F-16s flying over here, guys, to close the airspace down, that's going to be code for we're actually flying Ukrainian F-16s from Poland. Now, remember, you know, the Americans have already said, they've already put out the call, basically, for any, what do they call it? Any experienced F-16 pilots who want to go and fly F-16s in Ukraine, you know, put your names forwards and we'll send you out. Guys, there will be a mass influx of F-16 pilots who will be wanting to do this. Imagine if you are an experienced F-16 pilot, you've got 20 odd years of experience and you never got to see combat. Well, now you're getting an opportunity to go head to head against Russian aircraft who, although you're not flying the most sophisticated aircraft, although you're not flying the most advanced, the most up-to-date aircraft, you know that aircraft well, and you know that, and you've always, you know, I say this without prejudice, guys. Okay, so when you're a pilot, you know, if you join the Air Force to become a fighter pilot, you don't join the Air Force to become a fighter pilot and never want to see active combat. That's the reality, guys, all right? You don't become a fireman if you don't want to put fires out. You don't become a paramedic if you don't want to deal with casualties. Maybe that was a Freudian slip. You don't become a policeman if you don't want to arrest anyone. So these pilots will want to see active service. They will want to test themselves and come up against Russian pilots. Guys, that is the reality of being in the Air Force. Same with the infantry, the Navy, all the rest of it. So you will have, you know, masses and masses of pilots wanting to get out to Ukraine, wanting to get back behind the cockpit. And I keep saying this, you know, you can't give someone the basic training and expect them to be, you know, have 20 years experience. A lot of this experience that the fighter pilots get, you know, it's from training. Because every time you go out on a patrol, on a defensive sortie, on an offensive sortie, whatever, you're not going to come up against enemy. You may not discharge your weapon systems. So in that context, yes, you're gaining operational experience, but no, you're not gaining tactical experience because you're not being tested. You're not testing the aircraft. You're not having to make those tactical decisions quickly on the spot. You know, so without all those years of experience, without all those years of training, the aircraft are not being used to their full capacity. You know, you can think of, you know, you can give, there's probably millions of analogies. You know, my dad's rode motorbikes all his life. You know, I would not be able to get on my motorbike and be able to ride it anywhere near as competently as my dad. Yes, of course, I can ride a motorbike, but guys, you know, I'm 50-50 whether I'm going to do that. But, you know, that's kind of the reality. You know, you've got these experienced pilots in America wanting to go out there. We know this is happening, guys. You know, who was it? I think I can't, his name escapes me, but I'll put a link in the description. You know, the US, I think he was a senator or something, putting out the call, is there any F-16 pilots that want to go to Ukraine? So look at all this holistically. Guys, Poland are going to be closing that airspace very soon. And Poland are going to be flying defensive sorties over Ukraine. And once that happens, that's going to open the window for Ukraine using the same airfields, using the same infrastructure to fly offensive sorties. And then, guys, it's only a matter of time. It's only a matter of mission creep before you actually have Polish pilots flying offensive sorties over Ukraine, and then other aircraft flying offensive. So, guys, you see where this is going. This is not de-escalating anytime soon. All we've got is escalation after escalation. You know, we've got the Russians planning on their increasing their nuclear, lowering actually the bar for their nuclear threshold, as in when they can use nuclear weapons. And guys, this is just the beginning. You know, as Winston Churchill said, this is not the end and it's not the beginning, but it is the end of the beginning. Guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll get you guys another video shortly.